Look, if you're tired of being broke, stressed, and feeling like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, you've got to focus on one thing: making your first $10,000. Seriously, that first 10K is, by far, the hardest money you'll ever make, but it's also the most important. Once you cross that line, I promise you, the entire game changes. So today, we're going to break down the exact 3-step blueprint to get you there, even if you're starting from absolute zero.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the 10K challenge and, where most people trip up right at the start. Then we'll walk through the 4 real ways to make cash so you can pick the right vehicle for you. After that, we're going to build what I call the skill pyramid to turn that cash flow into a serious income. And finally, we'll get to the best part, turning that income into actual long-term wealth.
So, why this number, right? Not $1 million, not even $100 grand. $10,000. It's because this goal is real. It's achievable. It pulls you out of the world of just dreaming about money and drops you right into the world of actually making it. Hitting this number builds the foundation, it creates momentum, and, most importantly, it gives you the self-belief you need for everything that comes next.
And this right here, this gets to the very heart of it. Hitting that first 10K proves to your brain that what you did wasn't a fluke. It wasn't just luck. It proves that making money is a skill, a system that you can learn, you can practice, and you can repeat over and over again. It's that light bulb moment where you go from hoping you can do it to knowing you can.
So where do we even begin? Well, most people make this way, way harder than it needs to be. They hear their buddy made a quick buck in crypto, or they see some guru on Instagram promising a fortune from day trading, and they just jump in head first. The problem? Those things require 2 things you probably don't have starting out: a ton of cash to burn and a whole lot of luck.
What you really need is a totally different kind of vehicle. You need something you can start with little to no money, something that doesn't ask you to risk it all, and most importantly, something that starts putting cash back in your pocket consistently. Forget the lottery tickets. You need a reliable engine that's going to get you to that first 10K finish line.
When you strip away all the hype and all the noise, there are really only 4 legitimate paths to get started. I've seen them all, and trust me, the one you choose is absolutely crucial. Some will get you money fast, but you'll hit a ceiling, while others have huge potential but take forever to get off the ground. Let's find the right one for you.
So here they are, our 4 vehicles: in-person services, local products, global products, and online services. Let's break down the good, the bad, and the ugly of each one so you can make a smart choice.
First up, in-person services. This is stuff like personal training, dog walking. The source for this explainer even washed cars in fancy neighborhoods. And this is, hands down, the fastest way to get cash. The problem? You're literally trading your time for money, which means your income has a hard cap. There are only so many hours in a day. Plus, you're stuck in your local area, so it's really tough to scale.
Next, we've got local products. Think selling handmade jewelry at a farmer's market or baking custom cakes. This is awesome because you get to make money from something you already love to do. But let's be real, it's often more of a passion project than a scalable business. It can be slow, your material costs eat up your profits, and you're still stuck with a pretty small customer base.
Path 3 takes us global. This is your dropshipping, your Amazon FBA, your clothing brands. Now, the upside here is massive. You can sell to literally anyone on the planet, but you've got to have patience and capital. It can take months just to see your first sale, and all the money you make just gets plowed right back into buying more inventory. Your cash gets trapped.
And that brings us to the 4th, and in my opinion, the absolute best option for most people: online services. This one combines the best of all the other worlds. You get the global reach of selling a product, but with the insane 70 to 80% profit margins of a service. And you can start making money from day one. The only catch? You need a high-income skill.
Okay, so you've picked online services. Awesome. Now what? See, just having a skill isn't enough. You need a system to turn that skill into a real $10,000 a month income. And that system is the skill pyramid. If you miss even one of these 4 pieces, you'll stay stuck at the bottom, I guarantee it. The foundation of the whole thing is positioning. This isn't about learning a bunch of new skills. It's about taking the skills you already have and aiming them where the money is already flowing. Think about it. Businesses have big, expensive problems. They need more sales, they need better marketing, and they have the budget to pay for solutions. So instead of editing vlogs for a tiny YouTuber, you offer to edit sales videos for a 7-figure business. Same skill, totally different paycheck. That's positioning.
Building on top of that is leverage. And this is a game changer. It's one simple switch. Stop charging for your time. Businesses don't really care how many hours you work, they care about the results you get them. The second you change your pitch from "this will take me 10 hours" to "this will make you an extra $5,000, your value just explodes. You become an investment, not an expense.
Layer number 3 is reach. You have to stop cold calling and spamming inboxes. The real pros make clients come to them. The Source tells this amazing story about a graphic designer who was just posting his fan-made movie posters on TikTok for fun. Before you knew it, his DMs were flooded with paying clients. By just putting your work out there, consistently, you build a magnet for opportunities.
And at the very top of the pyramid is automation. Now here's the secret that most people miss. The single biggest thing that will make you stand out isn't your raw talent, it's your reliability. The people getting the big checks are the ones who are super organized, communicate well, and never, ever miss a deadline. A simple system, like a CRM to keep track of clients, makes you look like a total pro and is the secret to getting hired over and over again.
So you did it. You climbed the pyramid, you've hit your $10,000, congratulations. But making money is only half the battle. If you want to be truly free, you have to learn how to make your money start working for you. This is where we shift from just earning an income to building real wealth.
And it all starts with this fundamental mindset shift. The rich get a paycheck and their first thought is, what can I buy? The wealthy get a paycheck and their first thought is, how can I invest this to make more money? Your income isn't just for spending. It is the #1 tool you have for building wealth.
So how do you actually put that tool to work? Just think of it like a ladder of risk. At the bottom, you've got your high-yield savings account. This is your safety net, your emergency cash. Then you step up to index funds. These are your core wealth builders. A little higher up, you have individual stocks, which have more risk but more potential reward. And way up at the top, you've got your high-risk, high-reward gambles like crypto.
What's wild is that people love to overcomplicate investing. But the truth is, historically, a simple, boring investment in the S&P 500, which is really just a basket of the 500 biggest companies in the US, has returned about 10% a year on average. You don't have to be a Wall Street genius to get this done.
And the power of that simple, consistent return, it's absolutely staggering. Get this. If you invested just $5 a day, the price of one fancy coffee, from the time you were 18 until you were 67, at that average market return, you'd retire with over $1 million. That's not a typo, that's not magic, that is the raw power of compound growth.
And that's the core lesson here. Earning your first $10,000. That's about hustle and skill. But turning that into $1 million, that's all about discipline and consistency. It's about taking the money you work so hard to earn and putting it to work for you month in and month out. That is how you go from having a good income to having true generational wealth.
All right, let's pull this all together. Here's what you need to remember. 1. Making your first 10K is a skill you can learn, not some lottery you have to win. 2. Online services are your best bet to get started, with high margins and global reach. 3. You have to master all 4 layers of the skill pyramid: positioning, leverage, reach, and automation. And finally, number 4. The whole point of earning that income is to invest it and build real, lasting wealth.
So there you have it, the entire roadmap, from making your very first dollar all the way to investing for your future. The blueprint is right in front of you. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it?